Oh my God, you guys. Welcome, welcome. It's Friday night. It is time for Freaky Friday. And this week is a super special episode because we have a special guest we're going to bring on in just a second. Death, I see you. Poopy Pants. Irma Gerd. Is it Kaya, Kala, Ham and Beans, my YouTube's husbands? How you doing? Illyria, Linda Cinnabon, Andy, Harmony in Life. I know there's going to be a bigger crowd tonight, so please be patient with me because I'm used to like 20 people. Layla G, Josette, how's everyone doing? Thank you so much for being here. So if you don't know who Skeeter is, he's an awesome dude. We're gonna keep it to his paranormal and production company stuff here because we are here to talk all things spoopy. So thanks for being here. I'm anxious. I want to get him on, so I'm gonna add him. Everybody, welcome Skeeter, aka
Hey,
Nathan Barnes. Yay!
what's going on, guys?
And all my moderators, all of his links are in the mod chat. So please drop those during the stream. His Amazon Prime documentary, which is fantastic. His PayPal, which goes towards his productions, and his YouTube channel. How you doing, Skeets?
I'm doing. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to have you on. I feel I'm gonna breathe and slow down and just
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 relax, right?
center, calm the energy. I think my dog farted. That's great. God damn it, all
Don't
the time.
don't take
Every,
a deep then.
every live stream, they're trying to kill me. So, for those of you that don't know, Skeeter does paranormal investigations.
Yes,
You went to film school, correct?
that is correct. Yeah.
Nice. I am trying to learn how to edit and I absolutely hate it, but I'm trying and I'm going to stick with it. I'm so frustrated.
You gotta love the madness. I mean, it's
See,
insane. You gotta be
yeah.
insane.
This is where my talent lies. Like I'm the one I just want to go live and run my mouth. Like that's my strong suit. Um, and I have watched Phantom Farm, the Amazon Prime documentary. It's really good. You guys go watch it. It's $1.99 to rent, $4.99 to buy. Um, so my first question for you is how did you get started doing paranormal investigations?
Oh, it's weird, right? Because me growing up, I honestly didn't know that spirits or ghosts or anything was a question if they existed or not. Because my great grandmother, um, she was part Shawnee. So she
Mhm.
did what she called calling up the spirits, which later I found out she was doing a necromancing ritual.
Oh.
Ritual. She wasn't shutting doors; she was just opening them. But so like my earliest memories, I was like maybe 4 or 5, right, and sitting at a kitchen table with my great grandmother having a conversation with the spirits. So I mean, I've always kind of been around it, been in it as long as I could possibly remember, like seeing things that wasn't quite right, and
Yeah.
all the different places we lived in, um, feeling the vibe
Same.
energies off of that, and certain things, and it wasn't like my family was like, "Oh no, it's not no monster," like, "Yeah, it's probably real." You probably seen some.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I didn't know that it was even a question until obviously I matured a little bit and kind of seen it. So it's been something. It's just as much of a passion to me as comedy is. They're
Nice.
equal playing field for me.
Yeah, so I grew up the same way. I was born and raised in Chicago, and I've told this story before. It wasn't uncommon to see people in period costumes because things were being, filmed, and it was normal to see that everywhere we went. And my first memory is like waiting to cross the street with my mom and pointing out a man in what looked to me like 1920s like gangster garb,
Oh
and I
wow.
pointed him out, and my mom was like, "Nobody's there." So, same for me.
Yeah.
I've gotten more in depth as to more of the like what happens when we're not here and like side, but I've run into some scary entities. um so yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
kind of the same. Like well, one of the bigger paranormal happenings that happened to me, I got lucky enough to catch in that doc. That's what kind of spun that and started that whole documentary. Was Tyler and myself was there, and then I got scratched, and that kind of put everything into motion to finish that film. But that was one of the bigger things. I mean, I've obviously, when I was younger, seen apparitions and things, just like you kind
mm,
of described there. And the main goal, right, is to catch that on camera.
yeah.
And that's why I love doing paranormal investigation, because listen, I'm not going to claim that I know anything, because I feel like I'm confident in knowing certain things, but at the same time, it's paranormal, it's unknown. Like even
Yeah.
or just giving their best hypothesis. But to me, I mean, I use the term loosely as being like a scientific delve, like a scientific method to do this. But to me, it's kind of what it's like. You show up to these places and you can do these experiments to try to achieve a result, and it's addicting. I love it.
Oh, I actually have never been on like an official paranormal investigation, but I'd be great because like I said, your burbs got them spidey senses, so I'm kind of like a magnet for this stuff, to be honest. Where all have you investigated so far, and what's like your dream location?
Oh, dream locations. I mean, oh man, where they developed the Estes method. Oh, the hotel that Stephen King draw from Stanley Hotel.
Oh, the Stanley, yeah.
Man, I about forgot Stanley Hotel. That's always kind of been mine, just because of The Shining. As a kid, I used to watch it, and the little girls used to freak the shit out of me. So I'm like, man, like that's like, what the hell. But then the Estes method, which we use every place we go. I mean, that's a dream location for sure. The whole damn Gettysburg, you could throw that in there.
Yeah.
Prison, which is the Ohio Reformatory, Mansfield.
Same.
I would love. I mean, I've been through there, but I've not been. I haven't had the place to myself. I did, they didn't just unlock the doors and say, "All right, you guys go do whatever it is you want to do." So that's another big one for me. As far as places I've been, um, I haven't really been to no places I think would be known. I mean, Prospect Place, we was just there. If you've
Mm.
seen on my Instagram, that's where I think even on Twitter I shared some of those pictures. But Prospect Place is a pretty. It was on the big three is what I call them, the big made for TV paranormal shows. Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, and I think Kindred's. I don't know if Kindred Spirits went there or not, but I know Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures both had been there, and so we went there, checked that out. And now that's kind of what we're doing, is kind of shopping around, because Amazon's already contacted us and want another piece up. And then in October, we'll be down in Nashville at the big expo center there at the fairgrounds, where they're going to do a private screening of our film and have us on the main stage for a Q&A afterwards. So we're trying
Ooh.
to have another film in the clip to release out on that day. I think it's October 21st. We're going to be down there, and that we're trying to get together now and hammer down a piece, get it filmed, so we at least got a teaser done and ready to roll by the time October comes rolling around.
Yeah, because you guys can go there multiple times for hours and have nothing happen. So
Right. Yeah, that's what I love about our crew, is we're never going to fake anything. We're never going to exaggerate anything. And I feel like a lot of that, I think everybody kind of starts out with that honesty in mind, but they
yeah,
play for better ratings and higher TV eyes and things of that nature. And we just want it to be as real as possible. And like you hit on it right there, a lot of it is sitting in these creepy ass places and trying to get things going and trying to figure out a route to get things to excite you naturally and for
yeah.
some real supernatural things to happen. So yeah, that's
Oh,
90%.
the one show with the guys that were like the Roto-Rooter dudes, I could not watch them because the entire episode was them in the dark with their mouths hanging open, and Satan himself could have come up and bitch slapped him, and they would have been like, "It's the wind," and I'm like,
Right.
"Bro, how did you seriously?" And then Zach Baggins is Zach Baggins is gone so far south. I'm like,
Right.
he's a great example of you need to keep a line between how far you get involved in this and keep it to your work. He's got he's just like full on possessed in my opinion at this point. He's a perfect example of don't go too far with this because it does have yes, death dick slapped by Satan exactly. Trying to be professional.
Yeah,
um
that's the way I kind of do. It's like you got Ghost Adventures with Zach and his crew, and then you got Ghost Hunters with Jason and his crew, and it's almost polar opposites in the way of, Jason and his crew's always, there's nothing bad here. It's just residual. It's just this or what they explain away and try to say there's hardly any demons or anything. And then you got Zach, who claims everybody's possessed and everything's a demon. So I mean,
yeah.
you gotta, to me, you can be both. Just be real. Just be open and honest on what you're feeling and what you're experiencing, and that will transfer over through the camera to the audience and
Yeah.
in that situation with you. So
Yeah.
I love that
We
challenge.
we
Awesome.
seem to be a lot alike where we're both like, okay, let's look at this logically, let's stay balanced, let's be open to the possibility, but also have our feet on the ground. Like I think we very much, have that vibe in common.
Sure.
Poppy Cats, aka Poopy Pants, would like to know. There's apparently a bar in Indianapolis on Raymond and Meridian, a haunted old bar. They said the name of it.
I've heard of that bar. I actually did a comedy club. I think it's closed now, but it was
Mhm.
pretty close to that area. Never been, but I've
What?
definitely heard.
Yeah. And Ham and Beans, who I love my Ham and Beans. Again, he's my YouTube's husband's very smart guy. Wants to know what your thoughts on the Winchester Mystery House are.
The Winchester Mystery House. When you say Winchester, the first thing that pops in my head is Supernatural. I'm a huge super
Hmm.
geek. The Winchester Mystery House, I'm not sure I've ever heard anything about that. If I have,
it,
it
it
escaped my brain.
it's in so that's out by me, right? West Coast. I believe it's in San Jose. And Sarah Winchester, the heiress to
Oh,
obviously the gun.
yes, she built the maze house and everything. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, now I'm up to speed now because I had to read and study a little bit of that when I was going through
Well,
that.
and wasn't Winchester, Indiana, where isn't that where that place is where you guys filmed? Winchester, Indiana?
Yes, yeah, that's a
Mhm.
weird synchronicity. But
Right.
no, to me, what it seems like from what everything I've studied and learned about the what she had done is almost like she's trying to build a maze so something can't find her. It's
Yeah.
almost like and then I think I've also seen quotes and things that she had said from her husband developing the rifle and everything and all the lives that was lost due to that invention, that she thinks that, all these spirits are out, these vengeful spirits are out to get her because of that. And I think hence that's why you got all of these stairways and don't go to nothing, on doors that don't go nowhere, hallways that dead end and things like that that she's built.
Yeah.
And I man, I don't know. I think there definitely has to be some sort of truth to something like that. But it also might be a little bit of hysteria as well.
I
But
think yeah, it was hysteria. My so I don't have to physically be in a place to read it. That's the great thing about me. And I get that that was just all guilt in her mind, and she did that for her own comfort, and she had some mental things going on, but in the process of doing that, she kind of created uh not like a portal, but sort of a haven for negative things to
yeah,
come and hang out.
absolutely. That's a very good word for it. Yeah, I would have to agree with that as well. I think there has to be something, some truth there because from my understanding, Mr. Winchester himself even said that he had spirits and things that he physically seen that was coming after him and things. So I would lean to believe that, yeah, it's probably got some some good and some bad in there, and it's probably what drove that woman insane.
Yeah. So we were talking before stream. So this'll, and I'm glad we had that little conversation. So I'm always saying, and I know my chat's tired of hearing me saying it, everything is energy. Do you understand what I mean when I say that? And what does that mean to you?
I absolutely, what it means to me is like energy, like you said, is everything. Like that clap lives forever now. That pulse that I just sent out, I don't know what it's going to do. I don't know where it goes, but I know I just created energy by smacking my hands together. Everything that you can physically touch, breathe, and even things you can't touch, smell, whatever, it's all around us. To me, energy, the more I do the paranormal, the more I lean to believe that we have multiple different, I don't want to say dimensions because that's kind of been reused and rehashed, but I mean, that's probably the most relatable term is multiple dimensions around us going on. And for these paranormal things to happen, sometimes they kind of bleed through.
Yes.
And that's when we get these blimps. But um, yeah, to me, that's energy is absolutely everything. We are energy. We're made of energy. Everything's made of energy. And we are just trying to communicate and or capture energy from a different plane that is going on at the exact same time simultaneously that ours is. So
Ah. Oh my God. Is Skeeter my new bestie? Oh my God. What's your worst fear doing an investigation?
that nothing happens. Um,
Ah.
the way I prepare, um, I'm pretty confident, right? Again, I don't know nothing. I might be preparing completely wrong and end up getting possessed and headbutting walls. I don't know. But I feel pretty confident in the places I've been so far. And we've been in like the Prospect Place. We've been into the asylum there for Phantom Farm, which has a lot of negative in there, but also a lot of positive in both. Um, my fear is nothing happens, and I open myself up. I will let them use my energy. Completely
Mm,
fine with that because I know nothing can come home with me. Nothing's going to get in me, but you can use me.
yeah.
I open myself up like that before every investigation. I go through at least a 3 day fast where I do nothing but drink water for 3 days, have one good meal before the investigation for energy wise, because we're about to go in and do, 24-hour plus awake filming. So
Yeah.
I got to have energy. So I'll do one good meal before I go in, and then that's but my biggest fear is that we just go there and nothing happens, and it's even more aggravating when you can feel it. You feel the change around you, and you can feel things starting to. Randolph County was a perfect example of that. You could be sitting there, and it's boring, like you're sitting at home on your couch or something, and then all of a sudden, a switch goes off, and that whole damn building's on.
Mm,
And luckily, there was able to capture some of these things. But I've been on these locations before where I feel it, and I know it's around. And all of us in our crew that you see in that film, we're all skeptic to a point, right? Like
yeah.
we believe, but Tyler, who is my film partner and best friend, I've known him forever. He's more like a little brother to me. He calls himself like a paranormal block because nothing ever happens to him. But even
Yeah.
that place, Randolph County, had him kind of throwing his hands up and saying, "Hey, I can't explain that." So that's always like a big goal to me. Is like I want him to have that big what the hell experience that I
Yeah.
did in that film. So, but that's my big.
Yeah.
Nothing ever happens.
And that's one thing I'm very open about here is I understand like some people don't believe in aliens or ghosts or if you know anything about the Anunnaki, like I think aliens came down and created the human race in a lab and that's how we came to be. Some people don't agree with me and
Shit.
that's fine. Like I
I
want to have discussions about all this stuff.
That's fucking wild. I do feel like we just had the Step Brothers thing. Did we become best friends? Yep. About the relationship. Because
Oh my god, Skeet's my bestie.
that's another theory of that. I don't even vocalize a lot because you start talking shit like that, people want to put you in rooms with no windows and white walls. But
Mhm.
it's almost proven now, to me, anyways, that we are in some way, shape, or form, no matter what your culture, your belief, that we are living some sort of simulation. Now, Christians is uh, just a blanket statement for that. I mean, their simulation would believe that Jesus Christ and God created all this. And the more you follow like the Kabbalah and things of that nature, you start to see these bleed over things, these absolute truth is what I call them. And yeah, and it's crazy because I do the UFO. I love the CE5 protocol. Do that quite a bit. Every place we go, I will go outside and kind of get the laser out and do like a CE5 protocol to try to bring, as above, so should be below. So I try to kind of connect everything.
Yeah. I mean, I am in Nevada. I'm up towards Tahoe. I'm not towards Area 51, but I'm in Nevada.
Yeah.
Um, Pyramid Lake out here freaks me out. It's part of one of the local tribes. I have been there twice in 25 years and I hate it every minute I'm out there because I can't handle the energy of it. I'm like, nope. Uh so yeah, Hammond Beans is asking CE5 protocol? Question mark.
Yeah. CD. I'm gonna end up butchering this. It's not Bob Lazar. Bob Lazar is the guy that. Well, both of them's been on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Right
Very
now,
familiar with Bob Lazar I am.
I'm drawing a blank on the other guy's name right now, and I do not know why. Um, Probably because I'm mixed up before chat. I
Yeah.
Instead of taking my post workout, I took my pre workout again.
Oh no. Skeeter's jacked up.
Right. And so I'm like over here like one of the and I'm like trying.
I
Um,
mean, I'm drinking 2 lattes, so same.
Not Bob Lazar. It's anyhow. This guy created this method. Supposedly, you can look it up on YouTube. There's plenty of clips of Bob. Damn. I don't know. It's one of those classic white boy names. Steve, Bob, Phil. I think it's Bob. Anyhow, I got the book in the house, but he believes, and he has great evidence that his protocol works. It's not really worked to the extent that he's done it for me, but he takes these groups out and he will communicate via lasers. They'll meditate. They go through this whole ritual of meditation and just good energy, and they'll try to communicate through the sky with lasers. And they have actually brought in UFOs and these anomalies that come out of the sky and that are huge. I mean, and this would be like crowds of 50, 60 people that have
Wow.
not only seen them in the sky, but seen little creatures beside them. And almost, I would describe some of the creatures that he's caught as more of uh, closer to like the fairies. It's really interesting stuff, and that's kind of what got me hooked on that protocol. Was that because what I try to do is try to pull from different spiritual beliefs, different cultures, different ideologies, and kind of put together my own toolkit and what is effective for me. And I think that's kind of when you're dealing with the paranormal and supernatural, you got to kind of almost find that your own rhythm, your own flavor. What works for you
Yeah.
might work for somebody else, or what
Mhm.
works for you might work tenfold for somebody else. So yeah, um, Bob Lazar, and I can't for I'm gonna hate myself for this
That's
because
all right. We'll think of. Have you ever heard of Jordan Maxwell?
I've heard the name. Absolutely, yes.
Oh, he's my favorite. I haven't gone into him a lot here, but I want to. Um, he does a lot about, like the true meaning of the Bible and what the words actually mean. And
Hmm.
when he was in his late teens, the girl he was dating, her dad, like, basically they were off planet and he was tapped to know and learn certain things. And I will send you some videos because it's wild. He is one of my favorite humans ever, and I always recommend people watch Papa Maxwell because I he's passed on. I wish I could have met him, but I love me some Papa Maxwell.
Right, all the good ones have, all the good ones
Oh.
have gone on.
is
I see
is
Tracy,
there
hey,
is there
but
any place you would not investigate where you're like, oh, but no, every fiber of my being is screaming, don't go in there, keep your ass outside, and have a Coke and a smile.
No, I don't think any place that would be disrespectful. What I mean by that is like by my own culture, any like I don't want to be walking on like a native burial ground and disrespecting it in any type
Yeah.
of way. I would still investigate it. Just I would have to check with, and do it the respectful way. But no, I don't think there's any place that I would say no. I wouldn't go into because then I'd be a hypocrite. Like if I'm searching for these answers, there should be no limit on where I'm going to go to find these answers, or I'm just a jackass trying to pretend.
Oh, I have one. I have one place I will not go into. Do you want to know what it fucking is?
What's out?
It's the Goldfield Hotel.
Oh shit! Well, that's one.
Ah.
Actually, Tracy's in the chat. A good friend, a mutual friend of ours, said that. I don't know if that's. It might be Char in there. Mama Char. She hit me up and said, "Hey, we'll get you in. Try to get you in down here at the Goldfield." So I've been batting it around with everybody else you guys seen in the crew at the Phantom Farm, and I believe we're going to try to get down there for that to be our next piece. Now we got two other locations that I'm aware of now, which the next one we go to, we're going to be trying to add some things that I've never done before and I've never seen it done before. And that is introduce some psilocybin into the paranormal world to use that like our ancestors have done as
Yes,
conduit. And
dude. I'm already on that wavelength. I get exactly where you're going. There's so much people don't know about that and how it's like, why is it used in Christmas decorations? There's a whole hidden history with that. I am so excited.
right, yep, that's we're really because what I have loved about because Ed and Lorraine Warren to me kind of started all this into motion, and I feel like it has kind of went stagnant. It's kind of stayed the same since they've kind of introduced these theories and these approaches and things. But I love the series Hellier. If anybody in the chat's not seen the series Hellier, you can watch the first season, I believe, on YouTube. Hell, you might be able to watch both of them on YouTube by now. But it is a phenomenal series, and they bring uh, this new, fresh approach to everything, to where it's like, oh, finally, there's a door open to let you, and plus the way society is getting now. Um, and I'll be honest, I've done quite a bit of psilocybin in my day, but that's kind of a theory that's always happened to me. Is like, okay, you take the psilocybin and you see these oddities. Are they really there, or are you just imagining them? To me,
Right?
a little bit of both. Now, if you take that and you put that in a jacked up area that is known to have these spirits and things, what happens then?
Yeah.
So I think we're going to lean into that to the at least the next one. I think here in a couple of weeks we're going to go and try that experiment out, and I get to be the gopher. So
Oh.
we'll see how that goes.
Well, I'm sure you'll have people around you to look after you and protect you. See, one of my theories is this: people that are schizophrenic, they're missing that filter. They don't have the filter normal people do where we fall in line and believe whatever and we don't see things around us and we're not in touch with. They're seeing the energy and the spirits and everything that are there. Some people I think there's two groups. I think there are those that are genuinely mentally ill, but then I think there's a group of people that are quote unquote schizophrenic where they're seeing earth and life and people without that filter.
Yep,
So I might not see the purple people eater sitting on the couch, but it's there and homeboy sees it.
right. You can't talk him out of not seeing it. I like to call those type of people, and even myself, and again that came from the Hellier series, and it's kind of I just picked it up and ran with it. I love the term of being an in betweener, where
Yes.
you're experiencing both. There's a lot of in betweeners where you can't put me in a box because I'm going to want to know how the fuck that box got built, who built the damn thing, and why it's
Mhm.
there. You
Yeah.
can't put me in a box. Like it drives me nuts. I That's just me. I cannot be in a box. So,
What kind of wood is this? Where did it come from? What's the
right.
history of the tree?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I kind of took that term from Hellier, and I love it, in betweener, and that's definitely what I relate to, being an in betweener, because I have to. If you tell me the oven's hot, I want to get burnt because I got to touch it. Like
Yeah.
I want to know why it's hot. Like, how hot is it? Third degree, second degree, sunburn. How hot is that damn oven?
So Hammond says, I work with lasers and optics for my job. I told you guys Hammy was smart. I am curious what wavelengths or colors are most effective to detect paranormal activity.
Oh, great question. There is what they call the God frequency,
Mm,
and I'm going to butcher it. You can look it up. I believe it's 3.4 kilowatts, maybe. It's the God frequency, anyhow. And as far as callers go, if I don't know how many people's read the Bible and things, but even Noah, when he built um, Noah's Ark, when Moses went up for his 10 Commandments, in other cultures as well, these gods and goddesses always have sapphire. Sapphire is a predominant color, a predominant element, and they even call that the God element. So
mm,
sapphire would be the color, and then there is the God frequency. And I think um, my film partner and I talk about this all the time, Tyler. We go through it over and over and over again on how uh, we can figure out a way to touch on that God frequency and communicate with these entities. I think that's the key, is getting to that God frequency, to being able to communicate. And also sapphire is a very, it's prominent. It
yeah.
goes over cultures. It goes over, it expands coast to coast. And usually when you find things like that, again, it's a universal truth. There's something to that. If all these other people that want to murder each other for their beliefs agree on something, that's worth looking into. So
Yeah.
I'd say the sapphire and the God frequency.
Well, have you heard of these things called sky stones?
Sky stones. I have not. Huh.
Oh, I'll send you some stuff on it. I've just learned about them, but they're really weird. I started researching videos into it and I'll do a stream on it one night, but they're they're it's something about what they're made out of and their color and what they think they are, and there's some there's like I'll send you some stuff on it. I have a hard time articulating myself. I haven't looked into it well enough yet, but
I stay
I
up
was
all
like, sky
night.
stones.
I
I
stay
noticed.
late within the night. That's usually when I'm writing or editing or, thinking of different crazy things, going down rabbit holes. Majority of it is probably cannabis motivated. Uh,
I'm allergic.
oh
I
gosh,
can't have fun. I feel left out. Mm.
I use it as again, like our ancestors. They have done the same. I mean, I don't go overboard with it. I mean, I'm a school teacher and a football coach, and I can't be around just stoned out of my gourd all the time. But when the kids and everybody and the wife goes to sleep, I come out here and do my meditation and
Yeah.
dive down some holes. Um, uh, a lot of good has come out of that, and so a lot, especially my stand up. I I'll write shit down in a notebook, and like, what the hell was I going with talking about a gnome's ball sack? Like, what does that have to do? Where's the punchline? Where was I even thinking about a gnome's ball sack? But yeah,
Oh my god.
it's
I'll do that, like, as I'm drifting off to sleep. I get all these great ideas and things, and the stuff comes to me, and then I don't remember any of it when I wake up. I've got a little digital voice recorder, and I need to start keeping that by me and just, like, recording it as I'm falling asleep so I have it.
yep, I do that. Well, that's Edward Kasich, the Dream Walker. He's from
Yeah.
Virginia Beach, phenomenal. He was able to astral project uh,
Mm,
on
yeah.
command. So yeah, that's what he has always said. Keep a notebook. Well, obviously now everything's digital recorder. As soon as you wake up, just speak as much as you can remember throughout your dream into that, and see some connections.
Yeah. Capricorn, New Jersey asks Skeeter, a number of shows often talk about animals and kids being more tuned in to the paranormal. In your work, have you found this to be true?
Absolutely, because it's a little like me and you was talking before. before the broadcast, right? They haven't been programmed quite as much, especially animals. I mean, they're kind of just that. Their nature. They're instinctive. But us as humans, we're programmed to believe these are the way things are, and these are the way things aren't. So children haven't really had to endure all those years of that constantly being able, that's why always with my children, I give them information. I'll never tell them, hey, this is the way it is. This is the way it's going to be. I will give you information. Of course, on some situations, I have to be that way. But I like for them to take what I say and come up with their own ideology. And hell, you might teach me something, kid. I don't want to be that. But yeah, I found that to be true in both. A lot because of culture and because of the way things are and the way we've been taught what's real,
Yeah.
what's real. But yeah, yeah, I
Oh,
would.
I've had experiences where I have no doubt in the things I know and believe, and I still have to fight. And I will still preempt myself here on stream and say, I know I sound crazy, but I've had this experience, or I know this to be true. Like, I know I sound crazy when I am sitting here basically saying, I can remote view. I can, if you called me one day and were like, yo, Raven, I'm at this place. Can you read the energy? I could do it.
Mm,
I could, I've described people's rooms to them, over a Discord chat, not seeing anything. And I freaked, like, the room, the view, the bedspread, the history of the land, the history of the house. I freaked this guy out so bad. He left our Discord, deleted his Discord, and I never saw him again
oh,
because I was able to describe everything. But what we're brainwashed to believe and what we're told is that's not real.
right,
That's, if somebody says they can do that, they're fake, they're lying, and they're crazy. And it's like, no, this is our natural state of being. How do you, we ain't texting and having coffee talk when we're out of body. We're communicating energetically and telepathically,
right. Yeah.
you
Yes,
know?
completely. You saying that might get you in trouble because if we go, that kind of follows this question here. I'm hoping our next investigation is Goldfield. That's what I'm trying to steer the group to is Goldfield. We just got to come up with a realistic crowdfunding amount to get us there and be able to do what we need to do. But we don't have a psychic medium on call, so we
It's
might.
4 hours. Listen, it's 4 hours from me. Am I willing to drive there and go, yeah, I'll get over my fear? And you might find me sitting outside at 2 in the morning with my latte, being grumpy, missing my little Winston mans. But, you know,
Well, we don't got that psychic medium. We don't got our chip coffee, which I absolutely,
well,
I fucking love chip coffee.
I'm down. I'm down for it. Like, I'll get on live streams and do whatever because
There we
I
go.
promise I'm the real deal. That's why I'm so hesitant. I'm like, and I've done readings for people. I never charge because usually when somebody is looking for a psychic reading, they're not in the best place in their life. There's been a death, they're struggling, whatever. And oftentimes they're looking, I'm honest and I don't bullshit. And I'll ask, like, is there anything you don't want to know or anybody you don't want to talk to? But I've spoken to people and I never charge for it because usually people aren't in the best place. And I just honestly want to help people. So
Right. Yeah. And I've even did, I don't claim to be a energy reader, psychic medium or anything, but
no, you are. Stop lying.
I have done it and I've had, but to me, it's still, sometimes I feel like I'm just insane, but I hit everything right because to me, it's almost like the spear box that you use and seen in a million different
Yeah.
paranormal investigations that it's like radio waves and these, and I got to sift through and pull and find. And sometimes
Mhm.
though, like with my wife, when she had asked me about her sister, that was the first time I was really open about that kind of thing, which it runs in my family, which I later on learned because of Phantom Farm, how much Shawnee blood is actually in our family line. But as far as dream readings and things like that, my grandmother could do that. Premonitions, my aunt can do that. It's just a lot of that, and it comes from us, our family, our bloodline is linked directly to Chief Cornstalk in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. And there was shamans in the Shawnee.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where that comes from. And no, I 1,000% believe it's possible. So yeah, we might have to be pulling you into it.
Yeah. I've wanted to do like the, 23andMe because my dad was adopted and I've heard whisperings
That's,
about the history on his side.
yeah,
My parents in the 90s, pre-internet, mind you, did find his biological family, which was like
same.
you yeah, yeah, you actually had to drive 6 hours and go to the county courthouse and pull the records. But I
Same.
never got any straight answers, and I wanted to do a 23andMe, but Hammy was like, "Don't do it. Don't give your DNA." And I was like, "Okay."
What was crazy for me, like going through everything that we went through in Phantom Farm, and the same backstory for me. My father was adopted. We met his biological family when I was in kindergarten, so 1991 ish. Um, so that's kind of odd, but another
Wow.
story. But anyhow, I went through
What
this,
up,
and I
cuz?
to the tribe of the Shawnee tribe, and was telling them, okay, this is something you can help us do here. It's kind of weird. And when I explained to him what my great grandmother used to do, that's when he like kind of was like, well, hold on, that is a Shawnee ritual. How do you know that? How do you even know that to be a thing? And so I only gave him four names, two names on my mother's side, two names on my father's side. And
Mhm.
he was able, without any swab, without anything, to trace a direct line. And to even be even more creepy, who I thought was my grandfather. My mother is 52 years old. Who she thought was her father her whole life. We didn't even know there was a question that it wasn't her father. We come to find out it wasn't her real father. And that all came from a phone conversation with a shaman with the Shawnee tribe who
Oh, wow.
traced these names and said, no, there's no Russell. That's not Kennedy, is through your maternal side. And then my mother did do a DNA test, and lo and behold, Shawnee was right with with just names. He was able to pull all that out. So that was pretty phenomenal. I wish I would have recorded and caught that whole process on camera because it blew my mind.
Yeah. No, and guys, I am seeing your comments. I'm trying to pull the questions and answer them. Um, Steph, yeah, definitely message me in that Discord about that. I'd love to talk to her. So yeah, I was in kind of like side topic, but when you're in like 8th grade and you're starting to learn about biology and stuff, and you do the little chart with the boxes, and it's like, "Oh, your mom has this color eye and your dad has this color." And we were doing something like that in class, and one of the kids in class figured out his dad wasn't his dad just by doing the little eye. It was a lot. I was
Right.
like, "Oh shit." It was a Catholic school too, so it was great. I got in a lot of trouble in Catholic school because everything was, "But why? But why?" So many demerits. Um, what's your favorite piece of equipment to use when investigating?
Really, myself. That might sound odd, but
No? No, it doesn't.
myself, I love that putting energy out. I that because it's you can't get more personable than using yourself. And I mean, if you're being honest, every time you go into a paranormal investigation, you are a piece of equipment. You're a conduit. You are there for that purpose. As far as an actual piece of equipment, um, I would have to say spirit box for me. The spirit box is something I can relate to because of personal reasons and what I hear and experience. So I really like the spirit box in the sense of depending on which spirit box that you're going with there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say spirit box. It used to be REM pod until I got out, and you can see how easily it is to manipulate a REM pod for production value. Uh,
Mm,
as far as walkie talkies and things.
yeah, that's the radio the electromagnetic field one,
Yes,
right?
yeah, and it's supposed to detect and pick up. Now the ones we do use, Bob, who's also in the film, he's the guy that kind of runs the Tales from the Dark side of things, and very successful channel, the Missing Person Mystery channel. Yeah, he runs that as well. Tales from the Dark. He got a lot of different hats, but he's also a geek. He can tweak things and modify things. So the REM pods we use is shut completely off from any type of waveform that a phone or a walkie-talkie can do. It just picks off almost like an eddy, which it's an EDI meter, which
Yeah.
picks off of human or spirits electromagnetic forms. So every one of the REM pods we use, he's modified to do that.
Nice. Oh, and bonus with me, besides the psychic abilities, you get a personal armed bodyguard because I do have my CCW. I'm always harping on about how some people should not be around weapons, and we're not going to say any names.
Right. Yeah. I know what you're saying there.
I'm a
And
good shot.
I never go anywhere naked. So
Oh, dude, my gun range is the best. Those guys have taught me everything I know. I love them so much.
yeah,
Um,
United States military taught me quite a quite.
that's right. I forget. Yes, you are a veteran. Thank you for your service.
Yeah.
We
Thank you.
appreciate that. What other? Hold on. Let me see. Oh, I made a note. In my notes, I wrote, "I hate dolls too." I wrote that. I'm like, I hate dolls too, Skeeter. Fucking, I hate dolls, mannequins. I went up to the Donner Memorial with a friend who was here from out of town, and fuck those idiots, y'all. Don't feel bad. I'm sorry. Don't feel. They were told, don't go, don't go. It's October, but don't go, and they went. I digress. But you go up to the memorial, and it's like the same film from 1964. It's amazing. But they have all these mannequins in the one corner of the museum, and I never got to see any of the artifacts in that corner because I refused to go over there. I hate it's like that uncanny valley, and I hate dolls
Oh, I do
so
too.
much.
Film. We was stuck in that damn room. I did a solo in that room, and
Mm.
it was like all these little bitty eyes everywhere. And those was the older porcelain dolls that was made with actual human hair. So I'm like, okay, there's a DNA link to a spirit and all these little creepy fuckers. And I was waiting for the child's play shit to pop off, but none of that ever happened. And that was actually one of the most calming rooms after I got over the feeling of the dolls because of the woman Doris. I believe it was Doris's room. Um, and her energy is like a nurturing mother energy all throughout that place. I mean, you could feel her around almost every corner, especially down in the basement. Well, actually, where right down the hall from where I got scratched was her kitchen. She was dropped off at this place when she was 11 years old. I believe it was 11 years old. And she lived there until she passed away at 82. So she had 71 years or something that she lived and she cooked and took care of that place. So she was there all throughout a lot of it. Oh no. Can y'all still see me? I don't know what happened. If you guys can see me, let me check here. You might get a little reverb here. If you guys can see me. Okay, we lost Raven. We lost Raven. Okay. Oh, I just seen something pop up there from. Where's Shar? She has something there I seen. Yeah, I lost it down there. But yeah, you can bring that up. I did do some spirit box readings and things back in the day. Um, I have to dig those back up and re-upload those because we did have some good events happen during them. But yeah, I used to do that. I started off as a bosun mate, and then I became a riverine. Don't really talk too much about that crap. It's kind of to me, I file it away in my brain as like an old movie that I watched one time, and I happen to live it. So yeah, no problem, Raven. I thought it was mine because usually it's my service that crashed, especially all the storms that we've been having around here. Yes, Navy. I was on the USS Nassau. Many, many moons ago. Yeah, I think I got out in '08, somewhere around that, like the end of '08, I believe. The Indiana internet, right? We got corn, Wi-Fi, not so much. That's that's why I thought it was mine starting to crash. But I do have issues with that quite a bit, and I've got different like Earpods and things to boost. But take the helm, skate. Yeah, well, that's what I'm attempting to do. Damn it! Like I used to do this quite often. I mean, I don't know when live streams started coming in. Like that was when I was kind of doing the LA trip and things. But yeah. Oh, okay. All right, Ham Beans. I won't hold it against you because you was Army, man. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Yeah, and that's another thing. When I was down in Virginia, I was able to read a lot of stuff also through like being in the shipyards and things. So it's always been present in my life, 1,000%. There you go. The two old birds. Skeeter, I did a stream. He used Spirit Box. Clear as day. The box said no. It scared everybody in the chat. Yes, we used to have some good ones. I still, I don't think I got the SB7 Spirit Box anymore. I know Tyler has that. I now have what is the SB11, which only thing the SB11 is you're able to kind of pull two channels up at one time. And I like to reverse them both. And so there shouldn't be a clear word that comes out because we're doing a rapid scan through AM radio in reverse. And I break the antenna off, so it's just static noise. But yeah, we did get quite a few great things going through there. It was fun, and I think I'm going to start maybe not on the Skeeter channel, on the actual production channel, the Terra Barn production channel. I think I'm going to start bringing some of those streams back over there. The Skeeter channel is going to be more of my comedy outlet. I believe horror and comedy is the flip side of the coin. You need one without the other, the yin and the yang, comedy, horror. So that is my plans, is to kind of keep all the comedy on the Skeeter channel and all the actual over on the Terra Barn side of things. Capricorn, do you use Ouija boards? I've had some very intense things happen and gave up using them. I do. I do. And Ouija boards to me is very frustrating, right? Because I never had any big experiences with Ouija boards. The spirit boards and things. I think it's one of those things. If you lend it the energy, if you put stock into it, it can work for you. And I've tried that a million times. And I mean, as a kid, I've had things happen, but as an adult doing investigations, spirit boxes have never really produced anything for me.
I'm back.
Hey,
It's the Friday. When was it? Friday before last, my Wi-Fi said nope, and I had to dip out. So I'm thinking, guys, I might have to change Freaky Friday to like Spooky Saturday or something, because Friday nights are just
Santanic Saturday. Get your
like
devil out.
throw another hamster in the Wi-Fi spectrum. Jeez, I'm so sorry. If that happens again, I mean, you're welcome to keep talking if I can get back on. If not, just dip out. I don't know. It's
Yeah, I'll keep it going, man. This damn fly keeps buzzing by my.
this
But yeah,
this
I
is
have
the
never
best chat. So
shut my mouth up. There's Blender.
Belinda, oh my god, hi Belinda. Y'all, I love Belinda so much. Make sure you sub to her. Make sure you sub to Death and Little Boots separately and together.
Yes, they're
Sub
awesome.
to everybody.
And it's Blender's fault. She pulled me back out of the shadows into the YouTube world. So thank you, Blender.
No. I'm
And
glad. Yeah, I remember everybody was like Skeeter, Skeeter, and I was like, who's Skeeter?
yeah,
And
yeah,
then
It happened in a weird way. My YouTube channel started to, I mean, I was there when live streaming first came in and all that jazz. And then the drama stuff, which I don't like into. I don't want things to be too deep. And yeah, I'll do parodies and things, but it's just to poke fun and to have fun. It's not that deep to me. And around that time's when I started opening up for Pauly Shore, and I got opportunities to go to LA to do the Comedy Store and to audition and do a reading for Fast Nine and all that jazz. But yeah, so that kind of then film school and all that. So I kind of stepped away a lot from YouTube because I was working on actually doing film pieces and going that route. But I'm enjoying being back, and I'm back for good because I love it. I miss the interactions. I miss the comments. Like I believe it was Lynn. Uh, that's why I do the comedy videos. Thank you so much for that comment. Like that's, I love that. I miss the interaction. I miss it. I do. Like
I I love it. Like I want to learn how to do some like basic editing because that's not where my heart lies. Like this is where my heart lies. Being live with people, having that interaction, having people up. I'm starting to do more, being on other people's panels, talking about, whatever or whoever as we are entitled to do. And it's so much fun. I've met some of the best people. I met my best friend, who I call my hetero life mate here online on YouTube. I'm like, she's my hetero life mate. I love her so much. And, and now we are now besties. So there you go.
a lot of that. Yeah, I've met a lot of great people.
You can meet some great people, but
And of course, everybody knows how close I am with Whitty and Lori. I mean, I've met a lot of great lifelong friends that I would consider family, even through this through this platform. And I've also met some crazy motherfuckers, but that comes with the territory, I guess. Right?
I was telling my friend today about you were in the chat. Was it Sam was watching Callie? And you described it as like she's got them run the other way eyes. And I was like, bro, I felt you. I knew exactly what you meant with the run like a motherfucker eyes on girls. Like, damn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oof.
She definitely. I don't know nothing about her, and not trying to throw shade at her doing none of this crazy internet shit. But I've seen those eyes, and I'm like, holy shit, no.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh. So if there's somebody listening to this or watching Replay Gang that wants to get started in paranormal investigating, one, from that energetic spiritual standpoint, what advice would you offer? And two, from a technical, as far as equipment or filmmaking standpoint, what advice would you offer?
ooh, um, I'll start with like yourself preparing, and what I mean is like internalizing and being prepared or whatever is most comfortable for you, whether that is asking questions out loud and kind of dipping yourself into it that way. I would start there. Um, that is probably the best way to kind of start and to get into it in that sense. And nowadays we're blessed with technology with your phone. I'm not talking about downloading like the Ghost Finder apps on your phone or nothing like
Oh,
that. But you do
yeah.
have a camera, you do have audio, so you can use your phone as that whole setup. You know, you can ask questions just with your voice recorder on to see if you kind of pick up any EVPs that way. You can also just turn your camera on onto your phone and go into it that way. And just slowly, once you start to find your rhythm and you get more and more comfortable, that's when you can start building on that foundation. That's probably, for me, I would say that's probably the safer and the best route to do that.
Yeah. And just always be careful. If you're going to start doing any of this, please realize, like, even if you're a skeptic, just humor me. Just humor a Gen X bird and protect yourself. Don't mess with certain stuff. Protect yourself. And I feel better having talked with Skeeter because I'll be honest, when you were talking about during doing the Robert Johnson Crossroads thing,
Mhm.
I panicked. I was like, does this guy know? I'm so worried. I need to message him. Let me protect you. I'll like a bitch will sage some shit. I was worried. But after talking to you, I feel confident and can come in back up and clutch that you CYA. So
Yeah, I actually have done, and that's I should have my new editing set up here next week, and I'll be putting that video out. But I did do a crossroad ritual um, in Ohio. We found a crossroad that had a lot of lore around it by a river road, and so we
ooh.
went out and I made the sigil, 3-point candles, and did the whole ritual. Which we did have some interesting things happen. Satan didn't
Mm.
show up, but something uh, ironically, I can just go ahead and say it here. One of the coolest things when we did that ritual, I was actually in the middle of the crossroads with a sigil, and I had just lit the red candle and put it to the east, and went through and vocalized and finished the ritual out. And a cross in the sky formed directly above me, and it followed the whole crossroad. Like we got that all on camera. So and you can actually watch it just form right above us.
Holy shit! And this is going to be on your YouTubes.
Yes, that'll be over on
All
the
right.
farm. Yep.
Yep. And well, one of my mods, if you could please drop his Twitter, his YouTube, I'll be sharing his links out. My Twitter is always in the description. My Twitter gets spicy sometimes. Follow me; it's a good time. I have a mouth on me. I try to like hold back and pick what I'm gonna go in on, but I do have my moments where I'm like, have stick will stir.
That's that
Looking at
Chicago.
you, Monty.
That's that Chicagoism.
It is. I tend to take a step back and be observant and quiet, but I see, I hear, I'm just like a bird. Like Raven is the perfect like, nickname for me, and that's what I identify as a Raven. Um but it's I know when to go in and swoop down, and I know when to sit on that telephone wire and just watch everybody and their shit and the shenanigans and trust me, I hold back a lot.
Yeah, I just like to have fun, man. Especially when it's all this and I can't keep up with who's mad at who. I just want to just laugh, or we're going to get laugh or scared.
Yep.
That's that's my two lanes: laugh or scared. That's what I love to do. That's what I've always done on here. Um, I think really when things first started taking off was the TT parodies. I got all these moths flying in because garage door open and coming right for this light.
You need a
Anyhow,
beekeeper's hat. Keep them off your face.
buzzing by me, trying to hit my ring.
As long
No,
as they're not orbs.
right?
Mm. See, and you get the best of both worlds on my channel. You get a little bit of the messy gore world, side, and then you get like the paranormal, alien, conspiracy. Like I haven't even really gotten into a lot of the kind of more out there, heavier stuff yet with these guys. Like next week, it was supposed to be today, but of course, like you're like, I can come on. I'm like, we're doing that. I was going to talk about the stairs in the woods, which relates to the missing 411.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I tell you, I hate the woods. I fucking hate the woods. I don't want to go in the woods. I don't want to fucking hike in the woods. I don't want to be in the fucking woods because there's shit in the woods. There's portals in the woods. Like y'all people be walking in the woods and straight at, like, what does Gen Z say? Dead ass walks into a portal and they disappear.
Yeah.
I know part of the missing 411 is those energy portals, dimensional portals, and stuff is coming in and out and pulling people through and hanging out, and it's weird, and I don't want to go in the woods.
Have you watched Hellier?
I have not. How do you spell that?
Hellier is Hellier. It takes place in Appalachia, well, Ohio, Southern Ohio. They're out of Cincinnati. They travel down to Hellier, Kentucky, and they start to uncover um, a lot of interesting things that connect. bringing that unity theory to full circle there as far as paranormal, the fairy, UFOs, and it touches on this big underground thing that they believe is happening in the cave systems of Appalachia. So it got a little bit of everything, and a lot of great information and new approaches to a lot of these
Ooh.
older styles.
I also hate the thought of being in a cave and not being able to move my arms. I'm sure Sarah Kay will refresh everyone's memory with what I said. Like when they're trying to go through one passage to the other and they literally have like an inch around them to move. I'm like,
Yeah,
I,
I'm very claustrophobic, but I do
yeah.
want to get down into some of those caves because um, a lot of what they uncovered has to do with Pan, who there's a ton of lore on Pan.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, they go into these caves and they tell them actually a frequency to do. I mean, they go from Hellier, Kentucky to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, which I've done a lot of things.
Oh, Mothman. Point
Yeah,
Pleasant is Mothman for those of you that don't know.
yep, and that's where a majority of my family's from. So I mean,
Oh, shit.
who I thought was my grandfather, he worked in the South Plant where the Mothman, the whole scenario popped off. Um, and then also on my grandmother's side, they all come from Point Pleasant and Leon. And my uncle actually had run-ins with the Mothman. So that's another topic that I would really love to touch on because my great aunt, she actually went to school and was friends with all these people that had the very first Mothman sightings and things, and
Oh.
worked with the sheriff and all that. So that's another passion project that I would like to get off the ground eventually, and hopefully very soon because my great aunt is in her mid 70s. So
I'm telling you, y'all, the elders in your lives, talk to them, hear their stories,
yes,
their experiences. What was it like growing up? If they were around for World War II, the Korean War, Vietnam, all that stuff. Like, I, I wish our culture was more concerned with respecting and taking care of our elders, and I have a lot of respect for cultures that do that. Um, Sit and talk with your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles, everything, and just tell me your stories. Record them, write them down. It is so important because once they're gone, they take all of that
exactly.
with them. It's so important. It really, really is. Sorry, I'm a very emotional bird. I'm very sensitive. A lot of people don't know I am so sensitive. Like, I'm a Libra. I'm such a fucking Libra. Oh my
I'm
god.
I'm the water bearer. What's it, Aquarius?
Oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh no. Oh god. We'll get along fine as friends. Oh god. A story for another time. Oh, like Belinda. Oh shit.
Oh,
Which Belinda, you need to get back up here another night and tell some Appalachian ghost stories.
oh, there's tons. Yeah, I mean, just from my family. I mean, there's so many. I remember even because we'd go down and stay in Point Pleasant pretty much the whole month of November and would hunt and bring back deer meat and everything. But
Ooh.
yeah, I remember my grandfather all the time. He'd always warn me. He would call it the white thing, and my grandpa didn't believe in the Mothman. He Well, he would say he didn't believe in it, but later find out my grandmother told me stories where it did spooking. But he called this thing the white thing, which he described it to me as kind of like an albino Sasquatch type of entity that literally picked up a calf and ran with it like a football, stepping over the fences, and he was shooting at it and the whole thing. So yeah,
Ugh.
I remember him always warning me, like, "Hey, if you see something like that, aim aim fast and aim steady," because
Right.
But
That Andy, what's a moth? Andy asks, "What's a Mothman?" Mothman is an alleged cryptid. Uh, how would we describe this? Tall, red eyes, kind of looks mothy, hence the name Mothman.
right,
Was spotted several times in Point Pleasant,
Point
West.
Chicago. There was a few others overseas. A lot of cultures. and people believe that it's a what's
A
it, harbinger?
harbinger,
Yeah,
harbinger,
yep,
harbinger,
yep.
harbinger.
Boom. They believe they show up before something bad would happen. And
Yeah,
Point Pleasant, when it showed up, it was literally months before the Silver Bridge fell,
yeah,
around holiday time. And but they've also recently, I think it's Expedition X on the Discovery Plus, um, the Chicago incident. They actually seen him flying through Chicago and got good video quality where the experts themselves couldn't say for sure what the hell they was looking at. So
yeah. I remember that. Um, New Jersey Devil thoughts. So the New Jersey Devil is another for those that don't know. I need to remember not everybody is into and knows all. I am like an encyclopedia dude. Same, same.
yeah,
Um so the New Jersey Devil was supposedly this woman had had like 10, 11, 12 kids or some crap back in like the late mid to late 1800s out in the boonies. I mean everything was the boonies back then in Jersey. She had a whole bunch of kids, didn't want this last one, and like cursed the child. And I can't remember all. See, I lose my train of thought. I can't remember all of it, but supposedly this like cursed child grew to be the New Jersey Devil. And there have been stories of like people driving down this road in the area where it's supposed to be and seeing this unknown creature running alongside their vehicle at 65 miles an hour, and they're not on drugs, they're not drunk, they have no issues. And I also want to know, have you seen those videos of those people on the airplanes freaking out, being
all about
like,
reptilians.
the
Yeah,
guy next to me isn't real. I'm sorry. I believe in the reptilians. Call me crazy. It's a thing.
yeah. There, it's. I'm not ever going to say anybody's crazy or these things are false because, I mean, hell, history has shown us these conspiracy theories hold more water than a lot of our actual theories do.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I believe, I mean, there's a like a whole other subculture there and sub belief system that believes that there's these multiple different races of these ETs that are fighting over control of our planet type ordeal, and like we have a
Mm,
protector sector,
yeah.
and these ETs protect us, and these other ones want to harm us, and these other ones just want our land and want our planet. And,
Oh,
I mean, it could be very possible. I
Oh no, it absolutely is because when I'm not stuck in this horrible heavy gross meat suit when I'm here, I'm basically like what you would call galactic military. And I am cuz I'm always like let's blow some shit up. Like I talk about my other psychic friend, she's like a tree, I need to heal it. And I'm like cool, it's a fucking tree. Let's go shoot some shit. Like that. I'm just like what can we blow up? So, and it's absolutely true. We are
we're all star. I mean, we're all made
yeah.
of stars. I mean, that's a fact. I mean, that's proven. Everything, every element that we know of in the universe is also in us. So, I mean, that is one
Yeah.
synchronicity for sure.
There's that song by I think her name is Aniko, and the lyrics just the first time I heard it stopped me in my tracks because she's singing like I've got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins, like I'm not here, I'm just like an illusion. I'm like, "Oh my god, like if you listen to the lyrics of that song, I think it's called Jericho." I'm like, "She knows. That girl, she knows." And the chat is killing me with the fucking comments talking about um lizard people and DC is her own cryptids. They only come out in the dry season. Oh my god, you guys are so funny. She is a dry season. Cree asks, does anyone know any paranormal entities that have glowing yellow eyes attached to it? Not an animal caught in lights, more like the beginning of the old Scooby Doo cartoons.
Absolutely. The first one again, I reference back to Hellier. Goblins. These I'm gonna butcher the name if I try to remember the homestead where these guys actually. I mean, there's the three-toed footprints down there in Appalachia, around Hellier, Kentucky, and also other places throughout Kentucky and Tennessee that see the same thing. They're roughly about 3 to 4 feet off the ground, big glowing yellow eyes, pointed
Mm-hmm.
ears, and very, very reputable people have seen these things, as far as mayors and police officers and things of that nature that have seen these things. There was a family that actually was shooting at them, and it was a whole thing. And the cops came, and actually Tyler and Bob from the Phantom Farm film, they interviewed that lady. She's the last living relative that was there.
Oh shit.
Uh, so I mean, yeah, that's the first thing that pops in my head is, for the glowing yellow eyes, is those goblins.
Yeah. Don't, and again, I know sometimes when you encounter things and you see them visually, it can be very, I mean, it's upsetting and off-putting, but again, like I'm always saying, guys, everything is energy. You will usually have, most times before an encounter, like you'll usually have a foreboding feeling, or wherever you're at, just like, oh, it feels kind of weird in here or whatever. And I mean, how often have we heard people talk about um police officers? Oh, I was just, my gut, I was going with my gut instinct. Mother's intuition, women's intuition. Nah, man, we all have natural psychic abilities, whether you want to believe it or not. Listen to those.
100%. Like I've always said that too. Like when you feel like you got eyes on you, I'm willing to bet you do. You just gotta
Oh.
be open and present to that moment to kind of connect with what that is. And that's what I always try to be centered and realize. It's almost, I guess, the best way to relate it is the Final Destination films. Look for the signs and kind of try to be present to see what you're dealing with. And I also have the Lost Key of Solomon. Aleister Crowley had wrote that, and it's kind of, everybody got their opinions on Crowley.
Mhm.
I like to study um, his ideologies a little bit. Do I believe in all of it? Not really. Do I think he might have been kind of crazy? Maybe so.
Yeah.
Um, but he has had some pretty incredible um, things within his writings and his life experiences. And but the Lost Key of Solomon breaks all these different features and characteristics of these different demons and the legions that come with them and things like that. Like Ed Warren he believed in the Lost Key of Solomon, and he was the only person outside of the Catholic Church that they actually deemed a demonology
Mhm.
form of.
Yep.
So I mean that takes a
Yeah.
lot to do that, you know.
Okay. So I'm gonna write that down. Kate Winslet asks, question: is something wrong with me? I've never seen anything spooky, weird sounds and stuff, but never a full apparition. Kate, we love you. You're our favorite fucking troll and shit stirrer. I love you so much. Yes, there absolutely is something fucking wrong with you, but it's gold. It's magical. Don't ever change. As far as with seeing stuff, no, like, girl, you're fine. But yes,
Yeah,
there's absolutely fucking something wrong with you, and I fucking love you for it.
a lot of
Kate,
people you
she's
see
legend.
will
She's
see and
icon.
but not, yeah, or hear things and feel things but not see them. And I think everybody, to each their own. I mean, that could be a gift in that sense of that is your gift of being able to see, feel, and or feel and hear and not quite see. You know,
Well, yeah, because there's claircognizant, clairvoyant. So, um, I see a lot of things, I guess you could say telepathically through my mind's eye. I'm shown things. Sometimes it'll be like I'll get a word and I will see the word coming like at me getting bigger, or it's I can describe it as being in a movie theater. The screen is white, the lights are down, and I can see the word coming in clear. Um, I'll
sure.
hear words. I get a lot of pop culture references. Um, I mean, sometimes I can taste things, smell things. It's all different. One time I did an experiment with my friend and I was like eating stuff and I was like, okay, tell me what I'm eating. And I didn't tell her what it was. And of course, it was something spicy, and she hates spicy. And she was like, you bitch. And I'm like, well, I mean, whatever. And so, and I've done all kinds of fun experiments like that with my friends because I wanted confirmation that, yes, what I'm getting is real. What I'm getting is true. And I've had a lot of different situations and experiences with people throughout the years where I've gotten confirmation of yes. And my your biggest obstacle is always yourself,
Yes.
your own
Yeah.
self doubt.
And that's where meditation for me comes in, where you got to be in the nothing, is how I describe it. Be in the nothing. You don't clear your mind, clear everything, be in the nothing so you can experience the in between. And that's what I love. But I would like it, whenever you want to do a reading on me, I would love it because I've always been asked to be that person that does the reading. I've never went to anybody. I've never had it done, and I can't do it for myself. So I mean,
Oh, yeah. No, we're going to have to do it soon because you guys, when I tell you, the minute Skeeter came on panel for Belinda's interview, there was an instant energy connection because realize we have our flesh and blood wow, words are hard. We have our flesh and blood family here in this life, and it's such a small part. It's like 1/1000th of our existence. When we're not here in this body or in another incarnation somewhere else, where it's just the same. We make connections energetically and spiritually with other beings when we're not here. Um, I will talk about here shortly being courted. Your spiritual family you're connected to with like a silver cord. I've heard other psychics talk about it. And Skeeter and I you're going to hear me call him cuz because like we're spiritual cousins. I immediately connected with him and his energy. I keep getting all this stuff in, and that's why I'm like, you know, I'm getting stuff in whether I want to or not, and that happens sometimes because one of the first things I learned how to do, I was like, where the fuck is the off button? How can I turn this off? Like, and that's what I always teach people: ground, protect, turn it on, turn it off. But no, yeah, we will be doing that very shortly because it is filling up my head, and I'm gonna have to get it out.
right. Yeah, anytime. I'm definitely open for that for sure.
And I'm that person whenever I've done readings for people, and sometimes people will have questions, or I'll be like, I don't know that, or I'm not getting anything. And I always tell people, I don't know, I'm not getting anything. I'm not going to sit there and bullshit and just tell somebody something. I've had people get mad at me because they're like, well, I want to know about my love life. And I'm like, your love life doesn't matter because you're going to go to college and become this thing and you're going to affect thousands of people through your career. Wow. I've had to walk away from some readings, but no, I'm excited. Yeah, we'll definitely for sure do that ASAP. What is today's date? The 21st? Okay.
It is. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know what is in freaking Gatorade this week, but everyone get your chunkless, align your chunkless, and keep Uranus tight. The energy this week has been horrible, terrible.
Wow. I was almost on cue as you said that, a wood knock from the corner of the garage over there. Again, I'm just now moving all my studio equipment and setting us up out here because I collect way too much crap anyways, and all my film equipment I could probably fill this 2-car garage up just with that. But
Well, yeah,
yeah,
I'm sure.
wood knock over there somewhere.
Yeah. Well, yeah, my energy got kind of high there. And keep in mind, like, I've had so many experiences, and we would all joke. I was in a Discord with other people like me, and we would all joke because when too many of us, or certain ones of us, like the stronger ones in the group, and by stronger, I just mean more in tune, more experience. It's not better that we were stronger, um, but a certain combination of us would get on, and every single time the Discord would just go haywire. And we always joked, we're like, "Oh, it's the energy," but it was,
Right.
it's it's yes, align your chanclas. I am an expert at dodging the chanclas.
You see, I've also had an idea for like a show and looking for somebody to do it with is where we present like all these caught on camera paranormal things and kind of dissect them and give thoughts on what is there. Like it's kind of, I see it kind of in a lame form on the caught on paranormal is what it's called uh,
Mhm.
on Discovery. But I see a lot of these, some of these videos that get dismissed so easily. Uh, I think hold a lot more truth than what people want to actually give out to it. Like the new cryptid on the block is what I call it. Is the thing everybody's been seeing with these two really long legs and just a head. There's no torso. There's arms.
Oh,
Just these legs with a head on top, and it's kind of like the new cryptid on the block where everybody's starting to see these things. I think it started in North Cali, which I mean,
oh,
there's
great. That's right by me. Cool. Awesome.
a walk way right down to Nevada.
Oh, like I say over the hill. I mean, it's over the whole fucking Sierra Nevada mountain range, which I've driven many times. I used to drive a route from Reno to Sacramento to I'd go to like the veterinary offices, pick up their samples and drive it. And though the samples had to go. It was blood, urine, feces, biopsy. Like I couldn't wait 2 days for the highway to open up. I had to take these and it was somebody's dog and everyone knows how much I love dogs. And so we went and there were times um I would be driving like when the weather was good, driving back in just a certain part of I-80 and I swear to God I could feel like something was keeping pace with the car
Mm.
or was chasing me or like flying over me and keep I would just get these feelings. I mean, I'd just be like, singing on my way back, da da da, 12-hour days, and I would just get this feeling. Um and again, driving through the Sierra Nevada mountains like Tahoe, it's all trees, it's all forest. And I'd be like, please don't let me break down here. Like I'm surrounded by trees and I hate oh my god, I hate it so much, but I loved that job. I
Yeah, that
loved it. I love driving.
first credible Sasquatch encounter happened right up North Cali. The one everybody's seen walking across the river there, and everybody's tried to debunk. And there's been some theories that hold water to debunk it. But if you ever been deep in the woods, like in my experience, like in the Point Pleasant, Leon area, the Appalachia, and getting down there, you can see how something can survive forever and never be spotted. It is just so thick and so vast, and it's I mean
Yeah.
so I believe like these cryptids and things. I'm never going to say no. I'm just going to say
Oh,
I don't know yet.
how how much do you know about the missing 411 David Politis where I mean and that stuff goes back and then there's this whole thing with the division like the forestry and oh we don't keep records and they tried requesting the records to find out how many people are going missing and where and who are they and they're like oh yeah that'll be like $20,000 like not exaggerating you guys
Right.
and there's just I think the US forestry is covering up some sketchy shit that they know is in the forest and I
Yeah.
think some of it is multidimensional via portals. I think some of it is maybe stuff that's been left here, maybe things that have escaped or been put out on purpose of like, mixing various DNAs and creatures cuz the government does some nefarious shit, y'all. Everything I was bitching about in 2020 is done come true, y'all. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like,
Refer
Raven's
back
always
to
right.
how your covers a lot of that in season 2 as far as the missing persons and things like that. And they're actually in contact with the lady who says, hey, you need to get down here quick. It's through an email. This, and this is going on. It's high government officials. It's local law enforcement. Everybody knows what's going on. Nobody's doing anything. If you don't hurry up, they're going to find out a way to throw me in jail. Time they get back with her, she's already in the county jail. So it's they touch a lot on the 411 missing person type ordeal without even wanting to get there. It just naturally goes along with everything. Everything is
Yeah.
show you how, like you was saying, everybody's energy and everything is connected in that energetic wave. They do a great job of actually showing that just naturally unfolding as the episodes go on.
Well, and you said this is available on YouTube?
It is,
Okay.
yes.
Well, I know what I'm going to be watching because everybody, I know Gore World is great and we love the drama and we love to laugh and point at the cows, but it's another reason. I like to do these streams over here and watch something else, protect your energy and your mental health and, let the cows move over there and watch something else. Like,
I don't even know who's a part of Girl World and who isn't. That should tell you how much I pay attention to that. So I don't know.
um, I like to talk about Chantel. I've been watching her and Amber both for 6 years. So they're the two main, what we call a death fat, because they're super morbidly obese and act like,
Yeah.
everything's fine.
Yep, I know those
Um,
two eaters. Yeah.
yeah. And then we've got, so those are my main two, Girl World. And you've got some offshoots. And then now you've got the attic or the upstairs, as we like to call it. The
I wonder where that's
shed.
from.
Huh? Where did that come from? The
Ups,
attic?
the upstairs.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure somebody could post a link to it and maybe people should go watch that after this. Check it out. The upstairs.
Oh man, I cannot watch my videos like that back without like having that cringe factor. I
Oh,
and then I got to go back and when I'm putting it together because it's all just I mimic what I see. It's just turn the camera on, get into character, and just say a bunch of shit.
yeah.
So now I do have something scripted, the song that I got written out. I won't spoil too much of that, but I don't know if it'll be on this week's episode of the upstairs, but it'll be coming
Yeah.
soon.
You're killing it. I mean, the one thing I've gotten about you is 100%. Like, I've come across so many people that are like, I'm a light worker. And I'm like, no, you're fucking not. You are. So, you you're meant to come in contact with people because whether you're just having a 2-minute friendly conversation with somebody in line at the grocery store or doing something like this, your closer friendships, familiar relationships, you truly are one of the someone who is meant to be here, and just your presence, just interacting with people is you raise their vibration and their energy, and you're like what I you can be like a spiritual battery for people.
Hey, really?
And that's why I like how you describe it earlier when you're investigating is um people can recharge from your natural energy, and like that you truly are one of the people that's here to raise the overall vibration. um
Wow.
and
I can see that
yeah.
100%. Yeah. Because I do. I love interaction and I love it all the way around. Whether it's comedy, whether it's the paranormal, whether it's I don't ever shut up. I don't meet a stranger. Like if I'm anywhere, I'm like aggravating
Yeah.
people and
Yeah,
yeah.
same. I make friend My one friend, I used to that she was my best friend for 27 years, and then I set a boundary and we don't talk anymore. Imagine that. But she would get annoyed with me cuz like we went to Sacramento and Boise and stuff together, and she got annoyed cuz she's like, "You make friends everywhere you go." And I would wander off, and then I'm just like, I made a new bestie, and I'm a very extroverted, boisterous, sociable person. I like talking to people. I like making people laugh, but I can also be very like quiet and observant and reserved and
Right. And I think honestly, the more I learned, I've been diagnosed with bipolar 1 for a long ass time, but I think that is because I lend my energy out so much. And that puts me in one of my, valleys is I'm just spent. I need that time to recharge and to get back to my normal, you know.
Yeah, I think that's something people can struggle with in general, but especially of a certain energy or, spiritual assignment is learning to take that step back and recharge and set the boundary and be like, I got to recoup, y'all. Um,
Right. Yeah.
but I was gonna say, I was gonna say something and I forgot. Oh well, it's fine. Oh, Linda Cinnabon says the fake hump. When you turned and walked off camera in your last video, and it took me a couple of times to notice the hump and the belly. I had a little bit of latte coming out my nose. I'm taking you to court and suing you. I need your address to send the court papers to. I'm joking. It was great.
Yeah, I
Oh
had
my god.
my idea behind both of those was kind of like the Mel Brooks approach. Just make it big for every time. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my god. That I love Mel Brooks. One of my favorite. Oh god. I love what was it?
Uh,
Spaceballs is one of my favorite movies. I
yeah.
just
Spaceballs. I just made my wife watch that a few nights ago. Spaceballs, Blazing Saddles. I mean, Monty Python. It just go. I love Mel Brooks's slapstick approach to things. Like he was one of the greats for sure when it came to film for sure.
yeah.
Which what was cool when I went to LA and I came out for that reading and everything. The first place they put me in was Alfred Hitchcock's bungalow. That's where I went and had to wait for the first hour. And talking about
Wow.
like, oh my gosh, like that was it's like 6 in the morning. I'm like was nervous before they threw me in there. Then I'm like, holy shit, I'm sitting here in the Godfather of Horrors bungalow where he had written and did all these things, and I'm like fucking
So cool.
10 feet away from his damn. It was awesome. It was awesome. He's one of
Um.
my. I idolize him. Like as far as
Oh.
the way his subtleties, the way he approached horror, that psychological horror. Once we get
Mhm.
through, like we're trying to build up, and I have written a lot of pieces, but to do those pieces, those actual produced pieces, it's not cheap at all. So I'm trying to build my way up to finally doing, but that's one of the things I want to do is bring back the actual psychological horror. I love it.
Psychological horror freaks. It's fear of the unknown. I'm fine as long as I know what monster or entity or I can get a feel for it. I'm fine. Fear of the unknown. And that goes, I think, for a lot of people in general throughout their lives. If I go here and I do that, what's going to happen? Fear of the unknown.
Yes.
What is that? What's in that room that made that noise? Fear of the unknown. That for me is because like blood and guts and gore, I know it's fake.
Right.
Reddit 50/50 is one of my favorite subreddits. Do I have a screenshot of Portia Girl on my phone? Yeah, I fucking do. I'm a morbid burb. Sorry. Um, but fear of the unknown is oof. I want to know. Um, I've talked about how some things can be imprints that replay. Um, like I think people seeing Marilyn Monroe in the mirror at the Roosevelt is it's like on a loop.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
I talked about with Belinda because we talked about Brushy Mountain Prison, how places like that because there is truly evil there and there is so much negative energy, so intense for so long. It I was thinking about this last night. It sort of permeates everything and leaves a stain. Do you think um with hauntings and spirits like things can just be on replay? They can also be like sentient, you know?
Sure, I believe that could be residual and intelligent haunts. People want to say, but sure, I think what you see in those residuals, like you mentioned, Marilyn Monroe in a mirror, that to her was probably a very personable moment, looking in the mirror, reflecting and seeing what she had become and who she was. So, would I think that she would be doing that in a residual type of way? Sure, absolutely. I think, and then I talked about Gettysburg earlier. You got places like that where such devastation and such madness had happened, and so much blood in the soil. Is there residual battle still going on? Sure, because that was a very defining and life-ending uh, portion of their experience in this realm. So why wouldn't it be residual? So yeah, I believe 1,000% there's residual and there's also intelligent.
Yes. Andy asks, so much is made of negative energies and haunting, but what about good energies or spirits?
See, I'm more the good you can feel for me anyways right away. Like in Phantom Farm, I talked earlier about Doris. She was a beacon of just purity. Like you could just
Yeah.
feel that nurturing. I mean, that's what she did. She took care of everybody there. She cooked for everybody there.
Yeah.
That was her whole role really here was to be that person, and she's still doing that there for that property. So you can feel, for me, like you can definitely feel the difference between a good energy and
Mhm.
a not so good energy, and
Oh, yeah.
and even more so, you can feel a difference in what people would call like a demonic energy and just asshole.
Yeah.
There-
I was just going to say, just because there's a haunting or spirit doesn't mean it's a ghost of a human. Um, there's, I don't know if you've ever watched The Dead Files. Somebody mentioned it earlier.
yeah, I've watched a few.
Amy. I'm I would liken myself to her as far as like how my stuff can work and things I've experienced. Yeah, she's
Yep. I my favorite right now that I find that I watch more because I just love Chip Coffee. I don't know.
Yes, I thought about him earlier when we were
Yes,
talking about Mothman. There was an episode and they went and he was supposedly connected with Mothman, and I thought about Chip Coffee.
I love it. I watch Kindred Spirits. That's like my go-to. I mean, I still watch Ghost Adventures and all the other ones because I love it. I even though I know, what I'm watching is what I'm watching. I still think there's some real things that happen there, and I enjoy them all. But I love Kindred Spirits because Chip Coffee, the way he presents things, like I love when he's like he gets into it and he gets really pumped up and he's like, "I'll tell you what they said. Do you want me to tell you? Because I'll tell you what they said.
He
They
gets
said
sassy.
they said fuck you right in your asshole. I didn't they said that. I just like
I know.
I love Chip.
I love it when he gets flustered and frustrated, and he gets so gay, and I love it. Oh my god, he's
I love
perfect.
like
I
when he
love
clutches,
him.
does the chest thing. Oh my god,
Yeah.
you don't understand what's going on.
No.
Like
Like for me, when my stuff gets going, like there's that girl on TikTok that does the Kardashian impressions, and Chloe with like the post-its for fingernails and how she's always moving her hands. It's hilarious because she's so good at it. But like when my stuff really starts coming in, I'll like rub my thumb across all four of like the pads of my fingers on my left. That's like my little thing that I do when energy starts. I don't know why. It's just, but yeah, that's why I enjoy when people like me. I can see their little thing. Like we all have our little thing we do. It's
my
great.
little thing I'm doing right now is I take my knuckle and I just keep rubbing it on the inside of my palm. Like
Hmm.
it just it's just the thing. Yeah.
Does uh anybody have any other questions in the chat for Skeeter? And what was I going to ask? I was going to ask something else. Yeah, my most prolific ghost encounter was in the Washoe Club, where Ghost Adventures caught the full body apparition.
Hmm.
Um, my mom and I had gone up there for a paranormal magic show right before Halloween because my birthday is October 16th.
Hell
I am
yeah.
such a Libra. I am such a fall baby. I love Halloween. I want basic bitch pumpkin spice lattes and leaves and cardigans and boots. I am Such a cliche, and I don't give a fuck. I love it.
Yeah.
Um, so in the Washoe Club, it was in this like back room where they call it the crypt or the vault where they would keep all the bodies and stuff is. I got to go in there. Um, and keep in mind, I wasn't as in touch with all of my spidey senses as I am now. That happened like 2016 to like now. So I go in the bathroom, and again, Virginia City, it's very normal to see people in period costumes all the time, right? Go in there, it's a tiny little room. There's like a sink, enough room to open the door, and two stalls that have drapes that close across. No one's in there. I go into the one, like if you're facing walking in, the one on the left, the one on the right was empty. I'm going pee, minding my business. I see the door open over the top of the drape. I hear the door open. You know how you can like feel somebody walk into the room. My drape moves a little bit. And so I stand up, whatever, like zip up my pants, walk out to go wash my hands. This other lady comes walking in. I swear to you, I turn to my left. Nobody was in that other stall.
Oh,
Nobody was in there.
yeah.
But I heard and I saw somebody in period clothes, like, and I looked at the lady and I looked at the empty stall and I looked at her and she was like, "Oh my God, you just had a paranormal experience, didn't you?" And I was like, "Yep." And I need to go. I was like, "Mom, hand sanitizer. I don't care. I'm going to be piss hands raven for the rest of the night. We need to go now." Like, it was a lot.
Yeah, I can definitely relate because again, the Phantom Farm scratch, I everybody can see how I reacted to that. I was kind of like stuck for
Yeah.
a few weeks on that one.
Yeah. I could immediately tell by I think one thing we can all tell about Skeeter, regardless of your energy reading abilities or whatnot, he's a no nonsense dude, right? He's a straight shooter. Like, again, we've pretty much immediately trusted each other, and have just, have this bond. And oh my God, we're going to have so many great, creepy, fun conversations. I'm so excited. Again, Skeeter's my new bestie. But you can tell like he's a good guy. Like you're a good guy. You're
I appreciate it.
just
Try to be.
I mean, you know, I think there comes a turning point for everybody, no matter soul contracts, why you're here, energy, whatever. There comes a point in life, and I think it's different for everybody, where you have to choose. Are you going to go through this life and try to make the best of things and be strong and help yourselves and help others? And yeah, I might not have this, that, or the other thing, but I've got, like me, I've got a place to live and food to eat. There are people that would kill to have my life. And
Right.
I'm happy because you know what? Whatever materialistic bullshit, I'm not taking it with me. When I'm laying there dying, I'm going to be thinking about my little Winston Mans. He's my Shih Tzu. He's my son. I love him so much. I'm going to be thinking about my mom and my friends and the people I love. I'm not going to be thinking about, oh, I didn't get this kind of a car. I don't care.
Yeah, right. Yes.
So it's like, what are you going to value? And are you going to choose to make the best of it and have a positive outlook? Or are you going to be a negative little victim mentality, uh, bitch back baby? Like, we all know who I'm talking about. I'm getting fired up.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way. Like my goal is just to be the. It might sound corny and tacky, but it's true. I want to be the person I run into, and if I can bring a laugh or bring positive light into somebody's day, then I'm good. And I always want to be able to look myself in the mirror and be happy with
Mm,
what I've done that day and try to do better the next. And
yeah.
that's something that I constantly I work on, meditate on. I just want to be better tomorrow than I am
Yeah.
today, and try to bring that a little bit of joy and laughter to people through whatever means possible. And that's kind of how I deal with tragedy in life as well. It's just
Yeah.
turn that into turn that into
Humor.
and help relieve everybody that's affected with the same stuff that I'm going through, and I'll worry about me later.
Yeah. Oh, you can see me in chats when things get heavy. I'm the one in there like joking or like trying to lighten things up because I'm like, I just want everybody to be happy. But then with certain people, it's like I'm coming for your neck. It's just
Right.
I don't know. Nobody's perfect and we're all learning. Life here is think of it as like the Navy SEAL training grounds of soul growth. This is the hardest place. This is the hardest place to live. For so many reasons.
Yeah.
And again, this is one of these heavier, more in-depth topics that once I get more comfortable and I'm willing to share more, we will go into. Might even save it down the road if I ever do like a membership thingy for something like that, because I'd rather save the more personal things.
Sure.
Um, but I don't know, like it's just I always say life is hard, life is difficult, life sucks. Find the good ones, hold on to them as tight as you can, nurture them, yourself, and your relationships. How many times has that come out of my mouth? Like,
That's very true. That's very true.
and I'd rather live to be fat and old and ugly and have the privilege to do that. You
Exactly.
know, I've met so many amazing people on the YouTubes. And I just want to say, like, anytime, if you're ever like, hey, I'm not doing anything, what topic are you covering Friday? If it's something you're interested in, you're welcome to come up here, pull some videos, watch some spoopy stuff. Like,
Yeah, anytime, anytime. You
yeah.
get me, and if I'm not doing anything, I'm not out running around in the dark with the camera. Oh, absolutely. I love, I love doing this, and me and you hit it off right away. Great chemistry, and I love doing the spooky talk. I love it. So yeah,
Yeah.
anytime.
Same. So, anybody have any last questions for Skeet? Because I think we're going to wind it down here. I think about 2 hours is good. I'm sure I'll have you on again and I want to save some more questions and stuff, but I think the major ones got answered. And you guys, it really is a good documentary. It's about what, 45 minutes to an hour long?
Yeah, it's well, it's a minute six. I can, I know that one pretty good. Tyler, he edited that whole thing on an iPad. Dude's a fucking animal. Um,
Wow.
the whole thing on the iPad, and none of it. I mean, going through film school and everything, they'll tell you what's industry standard and what things you have to use for it to be accepted. Well, Amazon picked that up and he edited it on an iPad. I mean, he's phenomenal. He's phenomenal.
Yeah. He was like, I'm like, listen, I don't know if I'm ever going to get to meet him, but he was another person with their energy. I was like, I want I want to put him in a little snuggly blankie and protect him. Like I want to put him in my pocket and protect him. I don't know why.
That's the same way I treat him. Is like he's like the little brother. Like at all costs, I gotta look out. I act
Oh,
like a princess all the time because he's just a little dude. But yeah, I mean, well, if we get to come down to Goldfield, which I'm going to be striving for, and again, I appreciate you sharing all the links. And if you guys do donate to the PayPal, make sure you put it in the description if you want to be accredited for helping fund pieces. But we will be coming out with a formal crowdfunding ordeal once we figured out an actual realistic number of what we
yeah.
need to move on to that piece because we can do a lot around here. I think the last piece, Phantom Farm, that came out majority out of Bob's pocket, and he paid quite a bit for it. But it worked out. I mean, it worked out. It did very well on Amazon. It got us on the local news and all that jazz, and we had to do a
Yeah.
whole press run on it. So we got lucky with that one. But and I say lucky, but not really. I think it's just because it was authentic, and if you're authentic, it's going to be relatable, and
Yeah.
that's what we're going to strive to do with every single piece is be authentic. If
Well,
it's happening, then nothing's happening. But be authentic in the moment and be true to yourself and what you're doing.
and I think not just with YouTube, but especially now with the advent of TikTok and people love this stuff, and there is so much out there that is not real or exaggerated, and people want to see real encounters with the paranormal. I think they're much more inclined than they used to be, say 10 years ago, to watch and invest an hour in a show or 2 hours in a documentary where, yeah, it's a little more mellow and maybe not as much is happening, but it's real. And they can tell it's real because, I mean, all there, I know there's this one lady on TikTok where she's got her kids acting, and it's a whole thing. There's a great channel called Hannah the Horrible, and she covers it and she kind of goes into it. People want to see authentic experiences, reactions, interactions, because everything is so surface level and produced now, and you can really tell.
Yes, and yeah, personable is relatable, and that's how we all approach this. Like um, Tyler and I, like I said, we've been doing things like this together now for, oh man, 11, 12 years, somewhere around there, something like that. So we can almost know what each other's thinking and what shots we want to get, like without even having to verbalize it. Like we'll see something like, okay, like with that the Sasquatch love song, that was a lot of us. We didn't even know what was doing that day. He had a song that he would like me to do, and he said, "Have you ever done motivational dancing or whatever the hell that shit is?" And I'm like, dude, I have no idea what that is. I've never.
Oh, contemporary or modern. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I had no clue, like remotely, what that even meant. And I'm like, okay, well, fuck it, dude. Just kick the camera on, and we seen those trees. I'm like, yeah, guys, I'm gonna get this motion this way. I'm like, all right, dude, I'm gonna do like some whatever happens, man. Let's just roll with it. And that's how we did that whole video. But we kind of knew, I knew where he was at with the camera and the shots he was wanting to get, and we feed off each other pretty well in that sense. And it's a lot of fun, whether we're doing comedy pieces or whether we're doing um, the stupid Skeeter stuff, or if we're doing the
Yeah.
real stuff. We have that chemistry is just golden there. Like I can know and he can know, and I like doing. And that's another thing I was thinking about bringing back. So way back in the day, I tried to get going, but that was before film school, and I really paid attention to things like lights or sound. Like I just kind of fucking went with it. We did a Skeeter. We called it SPNA, Skeeter's Paranormal Adventures, where he would just Skeeter's just this confident fucking moron that, yeah, everybody in the room knows he's stupid, but him. And he just finds himself in this stupid scenarios. Like one of the videos we did was he ended up playing charades with the spirit to try to figure out what she was trying to say.
Oh
And
God.
just stupid stuff like that. Like I've been thinking
I
about
think
those back for the spooky season.
I think Skeeter definitely needs to be reintroduced to your channel, because you have a whole new, like, so many new eyes on you.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, I would love to see that. I'm loving the upstairs. I would love to see Skeeter get reintroduced. Um, I'm happy to contribute my knowledge of stuff to his storyline if you need any help or whatever. Like, I am that person where, like, I have great ideas, no knowledge to how to fucking execute it. I'm just sitting in the corner, like, okay.
Yeah. I'll have to
So,
break the Daisy Dukes and a bandana and get back in the woods and do the Sasquatch hunting. That's Skeeter's thing. So who knows? Maybe I can get one filmed here and have another Sasquatch hunt uh, video put together here pretty soon, because they're not. I mean, it's just me in the woods acting stupid. I mean, I get a lot of crazy looks with. Well, I used to have to.
what
I don't got to now because I have the hair now. But I'd be out there with a wig, a bandana, and Daisy Dukes on, and they're like, "What the hell is this?" And what is
um
he speaking of? But
would Skeeter be willing to hunt for Chewbacca?
oh,
I mean,
it-
could be a cousin of Sasquatch, like a Chewbacca type entity. I think Skeeter should go hunting for Chewbacca. I'll fill you in more on that later. Death is
Yeah, because the Skeeter's whole premise is he thinks his daddy's a Bigfoot.
oh
So he's
well, I
minded.
think we found his sister. I can't. It's I will fill you in. Um yeah. So, yeah, you are welcome to come up here anytime you want. Consider me your resident psychic on the team now. I can live stream phone. I will drive and meet you guys. It's great. It's fine. Um, yeah. So, and thank you so much to my chat. You guys are awesome. I
Yes,
really do have like the best chat. Thank you to my moderators for sharing all of Skeeter's links.
yeah, I appreciate it.
And
You guys.
again, check out Skeeter's YouTube channel. You can donate to his PayPal. All donations go towards productions, and people donating via the PayPal can like put their name in and stuff, right?
Yes, yep. You put your name in there, and just kind of, if it's just to support the channel, which I've had a few come through that just want to support the channel, that's fine.
Yeah.
But if you want your name also in the product rules of my next piece, just put that in there. But if you want to keep it anonymous,
Mm-hmm.
keep it anonymous.
Oh yeah. See, Death says, "Yep, LMAO." Skeet got his introduction to Chewbacca on my video today.
I did watch the video today. Yeah.
Yep. So it's I will I'll I'll we can talk after for a minute. Okay. Thank you so much, you guys. I will be back here. I think I'm actually gonna be on Deadly Content with Lil Boots and Death tomorrow night to watch
Hey,
some funny stuff. Y'all drop if you're a mod and you drop your links in the chat, yo. We are a community that supports each other in all of our endeavors because we love a success for someone else is a success for ourselves. That's how I view things,
absolutely. Come up together for sure.
right? Um, again, Skeeter's YouTube, his PayPal, his Amazon, they are all in the links of the description to this video. You can find them all there. Please go and support him. He is so awesome. He's so kind, absolutely lovely. And I will be on panel with Deadly Content tomorrow night. And I will be back here Sunday for my weekly chaos Gore World recap. It's going to be a hot mess. You're not going to want to miss it. Skeeter, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Uh,
Appreciate everybody in the chat. Thanks for sharing the
yeah.
links out. And I'll definitely be in there watching you guys tomorrow. And I'll be over here watching you Sunday. I'm 1,000% sure.
Yay. So, and new besties. All right. You guys have a great night. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And if you hear anything go bumping in the night, cover your butthole and be careful. Okay. Bye.